Alright, he does seem to be very badly wounded from that attack.
I imagine that he deflects the first few, but just the sheer kinetic force of this gun just laying into him, he can't deflect everything, and some of them start plowing into him.
Absolutely, yeah. He's like boom, 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 and they're coming so fast that he can't move quickly enough to, especially without the force, to deflect them. Awesome. Okay, and that was all of you. That means the Duras is still dead. The young Padawan continue running desperately for the building. Jedi Master Quarn into the water with Bylok. And he, let's see. He has the force down here. You don't have your little lizard anymore. I guess he didn't know that necessarily. He would know it. He would feel it, I think.
I will say though, my plan was, I don't know how far the fall is. I was going to try to jetpack. I don't know if I have enough time.
Oh no, not really. You can try and jetpack out of the water.
It's fair.
Yeah, so you basically at the start of this turn you just collide with the water. He's going to. He got the lightsaber, didn't he? Fuck. Jesus. All right. Yeah. He is going to kick away from you in the water and he's going to try and run you through. I'm going to give him a bunch of setback because he's underwater. And you have how much defense?
1 defense.
I'm going to give him 2 setback because of the water. And here we go. Still a hit. Okay, so you'll take 6 damage.
Alright, so 2 of it goes through.
It's breach. So.
Oh, it's breach, yeah, so 6.
Yeah. So just kind of just slashes at you underwater with the lightsaber, and just the tiniest connection is enough to like slice through the armor and get you on the leg. And that is what he does for his turn. The Jedi Knight atop the building is going to have a difficult time deciding between Kroger and Dreth who to focus. But he thinks Dreth is right next to him, at least, so he'll try and swing for him.
This could be it.
And he has a setback on his injury. Here we go. He misses.
Oh my god. Oh. Yeah, Dreth is going to duck under the lightsaber, I think, just.
So he just connects with your Cortosis blade and is going to knock it from your hand, I think, with those 2 advantages. And it just like slides maybe 10 feet away from you, teetering on the edge of the building. The next Jedi Knight is going to try and attack you also. Let's see. Oh, Jesus. $11 damage.
Yeah, so I had 3 remaining, so how dead am I?
You're definitely not doing well. I think you took a critical when you go down. Okay, let's see. Oh, fuck. 17. Oh my god. Okay, so it's overpowered. He's allowed to immediately make another attack against you. He chooses not to. Okay. You are down. He doesn't see the need to act murdery. He slices you down and then turns towards Kroger with the lightsaber raised defensively.
Yeah, and I think because the first one sent the blade just flying from the first Jedi, and then basically Dreth was readying to sort of spin with the lightsaber, and he was just not ready for this other attack from the other Jedi, and it just slices across his back and he just collapses to the ground.
It's okay, excellent. Okay, that is all of the... Yes, all of the Jedi. And it's back to the top with you guys.
I don't have an enemy near me, so I figure maybe we start with whoever's closest to the baddies.
Sure, that'd probably be near Thylock. I was actually going to use a maneuver to move up to where Dreth is, and then use a second maneuver, taking 2 strain to give him a stim pack and return the favor, and then use my action to shoot at the Jedi that just dropped him.
Alright.
That puts me in pretty close range with my heavy repeater, which probably means that I'm going to have another purple, right?
I think it's easier to hit when you're close with guns, right? Until you're engaged, I think it gets easier rather than more difficult. Yeah, so I think it's just 1 when you're in short range.
Okay, cool. Yep, and I can aim as an incidental at short range because I have my sighting system.
Cheat codes, right?
Yep, I got my cheat codes. So here I go. I'm gonna cheat. All right, so that's
Another 20.
yeah, exactly. Oh wow, another one. 2 blue, 1 for my accurate, another for my sighting system. And then what is the difficulty?
It'll be 2. Oh yeah, 1 red, I guess, because we're so close.
1 red, and then any setbacks?
Oh yes, 2 setbacks because of the defense.
Okay, let's do it.
Ooh,
Oh my god!
baby, that diggity daffodil. Alright, that is a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's 17 damage, and I'll go ahead and use the advantage to activate auto fire and just deal that damage again.
He's dead. Yeah, he's
Okay.
dead. So again, he like begins by trying to, and then eventually he just like shoots such force.
Come on.
It never goes to the side. He's
Ah.
just riddled with blaster shots, and he falls down. The Jedi next to him, who was already feeling a little bit wrathful, you can see his face turn into a vicious snarl, and his expression darkens.
I actually think that I probably obliterate the upper half of this Jedi because I'm so close to him. I sort of kneel down, jab this stim pack into Dreth, and then just like fire upwards into the Jedi's torso, and there's just a pair of legs just fall over after the shooting stops.
Awesome. Oh man. Okay.
Never seen anything like that in a Star Wars movie. No, I have. No, it's small.
I don't know. I'm still forgiven.
Welcome into our racing.
So Dreth, that gives you five wounds back to the stim pack.
Totally, this game is just all over the place. It's like a Star Wars prequel, man. So that's it.
It's a Star Wars prequel. It's so dense. There's so much.
It's like poetry at rhymes.
It rhymes.
Oh dear God.
Yeah.
Minuses in this game, or does that actually weaken the other?
The stim pack will give you 5 wounds when you encounters again.
Excellent.
It-
Okay.
It restores 5 wounds. It depends how much you're underneath of it.
Oh, really?
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Okay. Oh.
Didn't know that.
You're gonna
Oh,
need.
'cause you go under.
You're gonna need. Well,
I think
well,
you're
one,
still out
two,
by 3,
back.
I think I need an
We're
extra
gonna
hit.
need a bigger stim pack.
Yeah.
If you gave me 5, that means I'm still at because I'm at -8, so I'm still at -3 in that case.
-3. Okay, so if I hit you again, that'll give you 4, and you'll be at 1. So
If you wouldn't mind, that would be lovely.
on my next turn, buddy, I got you.
That'll hit the spot.
Oh.
Okay, so who goes next? I'll talk to you.
Thylock, go ahead. Unless you care.
I'll try to get away from this Jedi. Maybe he'll try to pursue me into a better line of shot. I don't know. Would I think that water on this jetpack is going to impact its capabilities, or are these suckers waterproof?
I don't know about waterproof. They're definitely. I'm not sure. I think because it's probably a combustion type engine in there, it might have an impact. I guess I'll call it like a 2 setbacks on trying to fly.
Yeah, well, let's do it. Screw it. Screw it. I need to get away from the series. So, what was difficulty on taking off? It was just 1.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use a decimal. This is too important for me. Do you want to make that a red?
I sure do.
I mean, it kind of lends itself. All right, here we go. That's what I'm looking about. If it's possible with you, when I jet out, I want to turn and try to throw fumes and exhaust into his face with the advantages.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, so maybe like initially it's just this big cloud of steam, boiling hot steam as you, and then eventually as you take off, it's just a huge cloud of steam is going to be difficulty.
And now, some harrowing foreshadowing. I remember back to when I was sitting with my father when he was a boy, and when I was a boy, and he's like at his workbench, tinkering on a jetpack, and he says, "Son, there are great warriors in the Mandalorian Empire, but there are great technicians. Our family's greatest honor is that we are dependent upon to fix and maintain the technology of defense." As he's just like screwing in the screws on these jetpacks, and I'm thinking to myself, a man is his jetpack. As long as he has a jetpack, he will never fail.
Too good. All right, yeah, you make a quick getaway. Moxie.
Moxie's reaching down to pick up a lightsaber that belongs to the Duros, or to search the Duros for his lightsaber. Do I find one?
Definitely, yeah, it's in his hand.
I take it, and hearing the splash of the water, and looking up and seeing Thylock just kind of flying through the air, Moxie will grab. He will kind of pocket the saber and run towards that sound, holding his rifle.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so you begin sprinting as quickly as you can.
I go towards the fight.
Okay, Duros dead. Master Korn is going to force leap not onto the roof, onto the bridge, onto one of the pillars where he will stand, and he will look at the rubble at the other side where you had blown that huge explosion. And he puts his lightsaber away, and he lifts both hands, and he begins to concentrate, close his eyes, take a deep breath, and you see, to your horror, rocks begin to move, rubble begin to part as he begins to move it. Then the Jedi Knight, still on top, the roof is going to try. It's got to be Kroger yellow. Unfortunately. This is the last one. He's going to go balls to the wall rage style. He'll aim and so yeah, it's gonna hit. 8.
Damn.
Cuts you down.
I'm down again.
And with that advantage, he is going to scar your face. He's going to slice through the helmet and like all the way across here. A horrible scar. Not the action from the Jedi. All the way. He just like holds it carefully, just like vindictively across your face.
Okay.
That is all the Jedi. And not all the Jedi. To your continued horror, you see from the other side of this rubble, rocks begin to fly out, slowly but surely moving away in the rubble. And then it is back to you guys.
A quick question. As I'm still in minus figures, am I completely unconscious? Or can I move slightly?
I think you're kind of like in a, you're not maybe you're unconscious, but you're like in a. You could maybe crawl around. You wouldn't be able to make an attack for him, but you could definitely,
Could I press a button?
Yes.
So the guy that's scoring the lightsaber into Krogor, Dreth this whole time has just been slowly crawling towards, and he doesn't have his sword, but he does have the hilt of the lightsaber, and if you'll allow it, he's just going to slowly press that lightsaber against the back of this Jedi's leg, and he's just going to press the button.
Okay, you can make a melee.
If I wouldn't be able to do that, then don't let me. I just was wondering if
It's dramatic enough that you can try it, but we'll just step back and try it.
Okay, that's fine.
So you can do your melee. It'll be 2 reds, and it'll be 4 setbacks.
Okay. It isn't my usual melee though, because it's a lightsaber, right?
So it's lightsaber, yeah. Lightsaber,
Greens, so I've got 4 greens, and then 2 reds.
2 reds and 4 blacks.
Oh dear. Wish me luck, guys.
Good luck. A hit.
Yes!
So yeah, you crawl just desperately slowly across as he's just like ritualistically scarring your friend. Just it's like sparks of blood just like shooting up, and you just get what you think is close enough and reach out with the lightsaber and just press the button and just like hits him in the back of the leg, and he wrenches the lightsaber up and turns in your direction.
Oh.
But he will take 6 damage. Who goes next?
If it's cool with you, Lloyd, how many maneuvers does it take for me to get to the top of the ledge from where I'm at with my jetpack?
Just 1. It's not that high.
Alright, so I will sputter over the edge and fall down. Cape goes flying, I'll spawn us, and I pull up the disruptor rifle as he's over you with the lightsaber, and I just try to blast him square in the chest.
Look, yeah.
Back from the dead. Okay, so what's difficulty on that?
2 reds and 2 setback.
Yeah, I'll upgrade that. Do you want to increase as well?
No.
Okay, so 2 setback. I won't aim because I'm doing a maneuver after this. Alright, so that's 12.
Very nice.
Sorry, what was that?
Very nice. What else?
Okay, so once it strikes him in the chest, my left hand comes out and I spin a stim pack in it, and I just jab it down into Dreth's leg
Fuck yeah.
as I lean over.
Yeah, so you just like shoot this guy and he like takes a step back as he gets hit right in the chest with the disruptor rifle. And he just kind of stumbles back, trying to gain control of himself, and you just right into the leg of Dreth. Dreth with a singular wound, just desperately clinging on back in the world of the living. And then it would be Mopti.
From the ground, can I see them when they're on the top? Can I see this Jedi at the top of the roof?
Yeah, you can see people who are standing certainly.
Okay, I didn't shoot the last turn. Is the rifle no longer overheated?
Yes.
Okay, great. I would take aim at the top of the roof at the Jedi and pull the trigger,
Nice.
hoping to help out from a distance.
So it's 2 reds, 2 blacks, but I'm going to give you a boost because he doesn't see you.
And I'm actually going to aim as well, so okay if I take it.
Perfect. Yep.
I haven't been doing that, but apparently a sniper that doesn't aim, that's my thing. That's how they know me. Okay, a failure, a triumph, and 3 advantages.
Okay. I think you shoot the lightsaber from his hand.
That's exactly what I was going to say too, because I can spend 3 advantage. Well, no, I don't know if I can. Okay, cool, awesome. That sounds great to me.
Is that cool? Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's stumbling back. He's got the lightsaber up, about to try and finish off just lightsaber tumbles into the river underneath, and he just snarls.
And then he'll hear.
It's a little too much hatred.
It is unfortunately far too much hatred. He reaches out into the dark side of the force to try and hurt Lilac. So I guess it's heal harm. Oh, the dark side. So many books. Okay, spend points subject to number of wounds equal to. Okay, yes. Target then gain conflict. Okay, you'll take 4 wounds, Thylock. They ignore soak.
Is there any way I can try to brush some of that off with sheer willpower?
I'd let you do a discipline.
Yeah, I'm gonna grit down and see if this force is really as strong as he claims it is. What difficulty?
I guess it would be against his discipline. So it would be a red and 2 purples.
He's favored. Double threat. So no.
You knew the power of the dark side. And he's showing it to you right now. He like reaches out to you with a hand and he places it on your shoulder, and you just feel like an agony rack through your body, and your muscles contract. Air is like sucked from you. And just like holds you there in paroxysms.
And I'll choke out. How easily you throw away a life's work.
Says you've destroyed everything I love, and I will destroy you.
I haven't destroyed everything yet. And I start to slowly attempt to raise the gun.
Awesome. Oh yes, okay. Alright, so then it'll be Quine again. Yes. Continually concentrating, he moves a particularly large pillar out of the way, and you can see that standing on the other side are 3 more men in armored robes, looking stern and very unhappy with you. And you hear the voice of Quine shout, "Surrender! Day is ours! We'll not kill you. Surrender!"
And I'll continue to raise the gun and just shout, "Today is a good day to die!"
Excellent. Jedi Knights are... Oh, yeah, Jedi Knights are done. Okay. And then the guys on the other side, one of them is going to push the final pillar out of the way, and an armored, robed gentleman is going to begin leaping across the bridge in the direction of you guys, as is another. And then it's back to you.
I figure as this guy is sort of clutching at Thylock using the force, using all of his concentration, breath, with a rasping breath that can very well be his last, is going to just swing that lightsaber as hard as he can at this Jedi to try and bring him down. Hopefully he's a little bit too caught up in the moment.
Certainly, yeah. So it'll be 2 reds. He doesn't have any defense, and I'm going to give you a boost because he is pure passion, no serenity.
Okay, so what's the boost? Sorry, it's the blue.
The blue. So it'll be, from my end anyway, 2 reds and blue.
And in addition, I get my 4 greens with my lightsaber. Here we go.
It's a miss.
Oh, no.
But you do get some advantage. I think maybe you distract him enough. He has to jump out of the way, and he has to drop the hurt that he has on Thylock. He has to move out of the way, and you drop his concentration on agonizing your friend.
Yeah, I like to think that, you know, there's that moment in Force Awakens where Rey cuts through part of Kylo Ren's robes, like in the ending fight. I like to think that I just take off like a big chunk of his robes, and then it sort of frazzles and burning at his feet.
Perfect. Who's next?
You can go Moxie if you want.
Honestly, he's just going to shoot again if he can, but I imagine actually he can't see the Jedi now because he's on the other side of the rooftop, probably from where Moxie is. So Moxie's actually going to be moving. Is there a way up to the roof because he's out of jetpack fuel?
You'd have to go into the building and up the stairs.
That's what he's going to do. Who's in the building?
There's a dead Jedi splattered against the floor.
Did one of my friends kill him? Oh, it was the bomb, right?
Yeah, it was the woman who had been like the receptionist here.
I imagine he goes and then just like one blaster shot out of the wrist as he walks up the stairs and she's
Yeah, as you walk in, there's like this lovely sort of quiet classical music playing. A tree in each corner of this room, and its fountain sort of bubbling water. Very peaceful, a contrast to the devastating violence up on the roof.
awesome. So yeah, I'll use my whole action.
You appear at the end of your turn, like open up a hatch and you're on the roof. Okay, who is next?
Alright, since Dreth set me up and he's let me down, I will immediately fire again at his chest. And I'll use our last light side blade. Would you like to upgrade that?
I think I better, yeah.
So what's the difficulty on it now?
So it would be 2 red and a purple, I guess.
I will...
Shit.
Through it. I'm
Ah,
gonna take
crap.
the afterlife. Oh shit.
The gods.
Yeah, so I fall and I pull it up too fast and I shoot, and it just crosses like under his armpit and like cuts open his tunic. And I let out like a long exhale as my body throbs.
Yeah. He stands, looks down at the shot. It's back to you. Who's next? It's Kroger.
I am laying face down. Smoke is still rising.
Yes!
From my face from where this Jedi has.
Oh, bam,
smeared
motherfucker.
that through the helmet, and the helmet has actually fused with the ruined flesh of my face as it's melted onto my face. And over the comm, I just say, "Fight till the end. Dreth, Pylok, if you have any explosives left, use them. Take as many of them with us as we can."
Alright. Master Quarn turns from his task and will leap back onto the roof. And he will ignite his lightsaber and he'll point it at you, Thylok. He will say, "It's done. It's over. Drop your weapon."
Oh, little you know, Jedi. Everything about me is a weapon.
He'll, now that he's up here, he'll see that one of his pupils has fallen, and he is just like ravenous and screaming and swollen with the dark side of the Force. And Iron thinks that he's a bigger priority than you, a fallen friend, much more than a thoughtless enemy. And so he will swing his lightsaber towards that fallen Sith and kill him. Then the two armored men will continue, also landing on the roof where they will pick up lightsabers. And that's the end of their turn. They simply stand there and they ask you to surrender to their detriment. And then it's back to you guys.
I think hearing Krogor's words, take as many of them as you can. Dreth struggles to his feet, and he stretches out upright once again, and he is barely able to lift the glowing green lightsaber in his hand. Lloyd, how many Jedi on the roof with us right now?
3.
Are they all standing next to each other, or?
Yeah,
They are?
sure.
As a last-ditch effort, Dreth just casually, he knows the game's done, just pulls out another plasma grenade, just and just chucks it at them.
Excellent. Okay, so make a ranged light attack. Are you throwing it at Master Quorin or at one of the other two guys?
Which looks the most distracted?
They're all laser focused.
Damn. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, range light, did you say? Okay, that's 3 games.
So difficulty depends on your focus or you're throwing it. It's harder to hit the Master.
Yeah,
But he's in the middle.
he is in the middle, and to be honest, I don't think Dreth would be in a state of mind to be picking targets. I think he's going to throw it at the Master. It's
Okay.
probably not going to work, but he's going to try. So that is 3 greens, and then what else is he going to put in?
3 reds and 2 blacks.
This might pull up in my stupid face, but here we go.
That's what happens. You try to move, and there's just like an agony in your arm from a wound you take it from a lightsaber. You just like try, and it just like lands a couple of feet in front of you, and detonates. So you and Kroger certainly are unconscious. Thylock,
Dude, my face is clapped in twain. I
Oh man.
what's the damage on your plasma grenade?
Just bear with me 1 second. I do have it right here somewhere. My plasma grenade. Christ.
Oh, here we go. That's 12.
12, yeah, 12.
I think we'll activate the blast rather than the thing because it's just you haven't actually hit anyone specifically. It just goes off. So Thylock, you'll take 10. That's your soak. And Roxy, you're slightly too far away. You just see Dreth try to throw a grenade, and it just hits the middle of the roof.
And so now everybody's unconscious but me.
I think Thylock's still up, and the Jedi have also been affected.
Yeah.
Just an extension from last.
Thylock's
Yeah, so when the dust clears, you'll see that the Jedi have singled robes. You'll see through the smoke the blue of their lightsabers through the mist. That was Dreth. Who is next?
Can I use that last Destiny point? Because this is a little bit, it's not super far-fetched, but I want to use mechanics to sabotage my own jetpack and blow it.
Yes.
Awesome. So, like, what do you want the mechanics check to be first to see if I can pull it off?
To rig it to blow? I don't think it would be too difficult, especially for you. I think we'll call it 3. To rig it to blow.
Alright, here we go. Oh, yeah. So, remembering back to my dad, just like in broken images of him at the bench, and just him saying, like, a man's life is a jetpack, I'll just leap forward, and when I land next to the Master, just like in the center of all of them, this like little black cord runs from my jetpack up to this like little switch on my shoulder, and I'll grab my face mask and rip it off and just smile with like a dirty grin and punch it.
Fuck yes. Another massive explosion rocks the roof. You can see it begin to collapse now. I guess we could call that a big ass grenade, maybe another plasma grenade in terms of explosion. Yeah, so your bodies, Dreth and Kroger, are knocked off the roof to land onto the grass beneath. Moxie, you have to raise your hands from the smoke and debris that washes over you. And Thylock, I guess you'll take 12. Lesser soak.
Puts me 5 in the hole.
Okay. The Jedi, similarly, will take a huge amount of damage. The 2 armored guys are both blown. Actually, all 3 of them are blown off the roof into the water down below. Moxie, it's your turn.
So am I being buried here by debris? I'm great. I'm
Yeah. So there's like all this kind of shrapnel and debris just like washed over you, and your armor is like ping, 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 as it paints into you. But other than that, there's just a huge amount of smoke. There's no Jedi to be seen, and your companions also seem to be gone.
Okay. All right. So as the room begins to quiet down after the kind of implosion of the building, as the snap.
Yeah, so the building you're on certainly is basically a burnt out ruin. The center of the building is collapsed entirely.
Okay, cool, excellent. So I'm finding myself actually balancing on one of the outer walls that's still kind of standing crumbling, and I'm going to look, maybe perception. I'm going to look for any of my companions to try to pull them out of the rubble.
Yeah, perfect. Give me a perception difficulty too.
Not really crappy at this. Oh, success.
Success in the
At disadvantage.
Okay, yeah, so you can see.
I find Thylock's arm is the success, and the threat is that I pull it out and it's just an arm, and there's no Thylock.
You can see down below in the grass the smoking bodies, though twitching bodies of Kroger and Dreth laying next to each other, almost like a picture. Just like right next to each other with like a sort of smoking grass beneath. Thylock, you can see, has been blown the other side and seems to be bobbing in the river.
Okay, the two people closest to me are Kroger and Dreth, so I'm going to go in over towards them and pull Kroger out of the ground and attempt to jab him with a stim pack.
Sorry. Me, yeah. So that would give you 4, Kroger.
Yeah, how much damage did I take from the grenade and the jetpack going off, though?
Let's see.
I might be at like negative 48 at this point.
He used stim pack syringes stuck in him.
Would have taken
Basically 90%.
Would have taken what? 10
From the grenade, I took 11. No, I'm at minus 11 because I took 12.
Yeah.
Made, so God knows with the jetpack.
Yeah, you would have basically taken 12 and 12 less yourself 12 times.
12 and 12 minus myself. Okay, so that,
Okay.
that puts me at, let's see here, negative 9.
Okay. I mean, it's manageable.
And that's my second or third stim pack, which is only 3 points.
Yeah.
So there's no way in 24 hours that you've got to get me on a back to tank or something. Quick, get the back to tank out. I know you got one in there.
You could always surrender.
I was thinking about that. I was about to ask that when Thylock decided to go Nova and just obliterate everything.
So, if I can, I see. So you see Kroger just completely, seemingly lifeless. Just his face is a ruin of flesh and metal charred together. Smoke is coming off of his ravaged armor that has been sliced in multiple places by a lightsaber. And Moxie, you go for a stim pack and you prepare to jab it in, and a gauntleted hand comes up and grabs you with the stim pack, and you see one eye, just blood dripping into it, glaring out at you from the ruined helmet. And the voice from the helmet says, "There's no life to live after this. Live one, Moxley. I saw Thylock overloaded his jetpack. Do you know how to do that to mine?"
And I imagine that he's hearing he's hearing you say all this, and then hearing like your busted up comm going off in his ears as well simultaneously, just getting in and out. And he'll reach down and attempt to grab you and pull you completely up out of the rubble, and bring you aside and kind of sit you up with your back against the wall.
Coughing up blood. How did you get out unscathed? You don't know what that's on you.
You were always dumber than me, Kroger, you know that.
Dumber and better.
Wow.
Just
And he
Both on
actually
the same
bumps
ball.
along
Good
that
job,
into the
guys.
bench. He does it like extra hard.
Just leave me with a gun. I'll take a couple more Jedi with me. How many?
Actually, I would look around and see how many. Do I see any Jedi yet?
Not yet, no. No, you basically climb down there. You're next to these guys. You don't see any Jedi moving yet. You don't hear any lightsabers humming.
Not sure. And he would actually look to his forearm and see the holdout blaster there, and he would look over and say,
Are you sure?
and he kind of pulls it off his forearm, pulls it out.
Never been sure of anything in my life. Wait, hang on. There's a blaster at my hip. Farrak said I could get 2 more shots out of it. Hand it to me.
And Moxie does so.
And I would grab it, and I imagine one of my arms is completely broken, bones splitting out of it, and with my good arm, I just have this busted up blaster that Thylock prepared for me, and I just hold it to my chest and nod to you, and you just see my just ruined face looking at you through this busted up helmet, and I say, 2 shots is all I need. Let's see if I can rack up 2 more kills today. Battle ain't over, Moxie. Get out of here. Come back with more Mandos. Finish what we started. Make sure Mandalore knows we went out like warriors.
You see Moxie reach up and kind of disconnect his mask. And he pulls it off. And you see that everything from like the right side of his face and his jaw, everything respiratory and cardiovascular is android. It's cybernetic. And his dark hair kind of falls down to his shoulders, and he kind of reaches his hand out and grasps your shoulder and just kind of has this moment where he looks you in the eyes before putting his helmet back on and trying to pull, I don't know, actually no, he would do what Kroger said. He would leave and try to go get more commandos.
And as we share this moment, this locking of eyes of 2 comrades, 2 brothers in arms, I say, "You're one ugly son of a bitch, Moxie. Get the hell out of here. Go."
And you think you hear a slight chuckle through the communications device as he does so.
Yeah, so without looking back, you begin to run for the woods. You know that if you get in there, your chances are good. They won't be able to find you. And the run seems to take forever. You're just constantly looking over your shoulder. All the cybernetics whirring and hissing as you try and desperately run for the woods. Waiting for the moment when you hear the but you never do, and you make it to the woods. And you continue through the woods to your extraction point, eventually being picked up by the fleet. The meeting with Mandalore the Ultimate is immediate. There's no resting time. You are rushed to the command ship before the enormous warrior king. He looks down at you, unscathed. The Jedi are destroyed.
At great cost.
Well, no man, Mandalore, ever died in vain. You've done well, Moxie. You made
Moxie
it.
nods. Moxie kind of bows his head and says, "I do it for you." and he looks to the planet and he says,
No. No reason to go back there.
Look, yeah. And that's where we'll end it.
Oh my god.
Cold-blooded.
Treachery at every
Dialogue and Kroger just huddling together. Don't worry, you'll be back. You'll bring me
Right at the thunder of their dropships. Any moment now.
Any moment they'll come for us.
I think maybe
Absolutely genius.
it's 2 or 3 months or so later, Kroger, that you would snap open your eyes in water. You're in a facility, your body ruined, but healing. You turn and you can see tanks filled with your brethren on either side. An old woman in a robe sits calmly at a desk, looking at a data pad. She sees you open her eyes and she smiles and goes back to her work.
awesome.
Oh shit.
Fuck, that was great, guys.
That was awesome. Thanks, Lloyd. This is always fun.
Lloyd, that was perfection. And you guys at the end with your little camaraderie moment there was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
I've
it's
never had
perfect.
so much fun getting my shit absolutely kicked in.
Oh my god. You lost hard.
Brutal.
Hard.
I said I'll bet $10 the game ends with, Kroger firing into a crowd, and I could not have been more wrong.
It ended with Kroger getting thrown off the building while unconscious.
It ended with Kroger's teeth digesting slowly in his stomach.
Yeah.
I love that you completely kind of twisted that ending there, Barker, where it seemed like you had this moment and he's gonna go get help. No, you guys, we're just gonna have to deal with our own.
Sorry, man, I'm impulsive, and
that was amazing. Perfect. Lloyd, did Dreth survive the explosion?
Yeah, you all would be in back to tanks in the Jedi Temple. They don't kill prisoners. They don't kill enemies necessarily. They believe everyone can be reformed. And so you guys would be, you would have been in back to tanks for months, recovering from your wounds. And Kroger, I think, was less wounded, and so his eyes would have snapped open first.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my god, that's amazing.
So if down the road we want to do another one, we can definitely do Escape from the Academy, something like that. We'll see.
Amazing.
Awesome, man.
Alright, well thank you to anyone who watched. I hope you enjoyed it. Check out Performance Check on the YouTubes, The Fistful of Dice, The About Game Master on IRWYABDdZqk. They're incredible channels. I strongly recommend checking them out. If you like this game and you like Star Wars, give me a subscribe. Thank you for watching. And you can see the Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I think like a turn per detonite plus missile.
Sounds really, really gracious to me.
Yeah, you get over there, you put down one charge, you put the missile on, you begin centering, and the next turn.
Yep, so
Okay.
I'll give an update on the count and say 50%. I need 30 more seconds.
Take as much time as you need. Moxie, how's it looking over there?
I imagine the second he says 30 seconds, he actually links into Moxie's scope on his rifle, this heads-up display of this timer counting down. 30 seconds. And Moxie is going to look around, spin around towards where Kroger for enemies with his scope. Just kind of scan around for anybody to shoot.
In that direction, there doesn't seem to be much action going on at all. You can see the Duros is trying to move the younglings around, but other than that, on that end, the temple seems serene and quiet.
All right, well, Moxie will turn back to the Duros and say, slow idiot, and then take a shot at the Duros. He doesn't want to draw any attention to the fact that he's not taking too many shots. So he will fire 2 4, 2, just basically the same shot as last time. I'm assuming, and 3 successes, 2 triumphs, and 2 advantages.
Difficulty is a little bit different for the Jedi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
So it'll be 2 reds and 2 setbacks.
Okay. Plus those 2 purples.
No, instead of the 2 purple.
Oh, okay. So I'm just gonna re-roll the whole thing. Is that all right?
That's fine. Sorry.
All right. Here we go. All right.
Nice.
Success and 4 advantages.
Okay. Excellent. So
That's 12 damage. Which and a critical.
roll me 8% on this.
6%.
6.
6%. Yeah, he finds a stick of gum in his pocket that he didn't realize he had before.
6 is slowed down. Okay.
I called him a slow idiot. And then I slowed him down more. Okay, great, fantastic. So I imagine I hit him in the leg. I'm just dazed. I feel, I see, in my vision, I see my heart is pumping at like a perfect rhythm, like an electronic song. And he sees this image of this metal just device clinging to his heart like a squid up against a boat, and it's just pulsating the heart like on purpose, like making it beat. And he begins to feel lightheaded in the jungle.
Awesome, yeah. The shot into the Duros' leg, and he just like shakes his head, just like so frustrated. And he looks in your direction, doesn't see you specifically. He looks in your direction, certainly. And it's with a few gentlemen.
So as we're waiting for Phylock to blow the bridge, I think what I'll do is, or he's not blowing the bridge, but he's going to drop that roof, right? So I think what I'll do is, you said there were like 3 different domed structures that make up the temple.
Yeah.
And are we standing on one of them, or are we on a separate building?
You're in a, so if you imagine there's like you're on like a rectangular, almost prefab organized building.
Okay, yeah.
On the side of the river, and then the fancy bridge extends onto an island in the center of the river. It's a huge river,
Gotcha.
and that's where the temple is.
Okay, cool. So I don't really want to go over there by myself.
You can see now, since you're looking through the skylight, you can see the woman much more frenetic now, like typing, and she's like, taking her lightsaber and placed it on the table in readiness, and she is like typing frantically on the keyboard.
I will look at Dreth and note that he has grenades maybe across the bandolier on his chest, and I'll kind of just point at the grenades and then point down through the skylight at Dreth. And I sort of heave my heavy repeater up and point it down at the skylight and prepare to sort of blow through it so that you can toss a grenade down there.
Alright.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't know if that requires a roll, but essentially I just want to blow through this skylight so that you can just drop a grenade down into the building.
I don't think it needs a roll. You could even just like smash it with the huge gun if you wanted to, through the glass and up on it.
Cool. Yeah, I do so, and then step back and let Dreth do his job.
Yeah, and I think it's such a practiced, slick maneuver. Crowbar just smashes this thing and then instantly turns his back to the glass to avoid any kind of debris flying back at him. And Dreth, almost reading his mind, has a plasma grenade palm, and he just basically just flicks it down into this open atrium, and it drops down towards this female Jedi. I am going to have to quickly just check. Come on, character sheet, where my plasma grenades are. Just bear with me.
So I think it's a ranged light attack that you make to upgrade.
Oh, great.
So you can go ahead and do that. Difficulty will just be 2 purples and 2 setbacks. I guess you get defense even for grenades, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, it's not so great. Okay, so sorry, give me those again then. So it was
2 purples, 2 blacks. Actually, I'll give you 2 boosts since she doesn't know you're throwing it.
Okay. boosts are.
Oh, shit. Can you hear me now?
No, I can hear you. I just I don't know what the boosts are.
Okay, I lagged out for a second, so sorry.
Oh.
You there, Lloyd?
Okay.
You there? Hello.
Hello.
I just don't know what the setback dice are.
The setbacks are the black D6s.
Yeah, and what was the other one you said? It was a
So you'll have 2 purples, 2 blues, and 2 blacks. What was your range lights?
2 blues. That's what I was after. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that, guys. Here we go.
No worries. Man, that's one of those dud rolls when it comes to like you roll on just a fistful of dice, literally, and you got nothing.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, sorry, it's okay. Do you just take advantage to last week?
I remember from last session, I think it was fun, but that was a different grenade, so...
Right. Okay.
I don't know.
So unfortunately, the plasma grenade just lands near to her, but she sees it in time and just pushes it away, and it skitters across the ground and explodes somewhat further away. And you can hear now from inside like her screaming in alarm. Yeah, sorry, Dre. And then it would be Moxie or Thyla, who hasn't gone yet.
I think I win. I thought I went first after Thylock announced the 30 seconds.
It'll be Thyla, yeah.
Well, I think we're back at the top actually. And because I started out that whole round.
Okay, so then it's actually the younglings and the Padawans who are still disoriented and unable to move. However, the Jedi beneath you is not immobilized, and she will leap up onto the roof and try to slice you in half, I'm afraid, Direct.
What color is her lightsaber?
It is green.
Damn, son. Bring it. Let's go. Let's dance.
Hell yes.
No, I will die.
What is your melee defense?
Well, let me just have a quick check. My melee defense hopefully is pretty good.
Ah.
And welcome to The X Factor. This is the show on EpicBattleAxe.com where we are in search of The X Factor, that precarious point of balance between a tactical decision to hide in the dark and oh my god, Mommy! Mommy, why? I'm Brent Adams, joined by a man who knows the first rule of hunting xenomorphs is to bring 2 auxiliary pairs of pants. Mr. Lauren Baumgarten. Lauren!
I can't do anything.
That was a masterful intro.
I'm paralyzed by the awesomeness.
Oh my god. That was brilliant. That was brilliant, Brent. That was
I take a bow.
If I were you, I would have already dropped the mic and left the room.
I ought to.
It's not getting better.
I ought to learn from Jack Tritton's ineptness and just do it. All right. And as you may have already surmised, based on the third voice in this conversation, there is a third voice in this conversation, and it belongs to a man joining us for the full hour today, formerly at BioWare, currently kicking ass and chewing bubblegum at Stoic. You know him as the creative director of the Banner Saga. Please welcome back to the show, Mr. Alex Thomas. What?
Hi. I'm glad to be here.
Hi.
Contrast. It is the basis for all good things.
That's how you make interest. You have contrast.
That's exactly right, and comedy. Alex, we're super, super excited to have you on the show. Alex is not here just for the What We're Reading section, but is actually co-hosting the show with us. Because for some reason, and actually I'm almost sure that these were specifically Alex's words, for some reason he likes the show. But
for some reason, this show's fun to do.
That's right.
Explaining why I like the show wasn't on the list of things we're talking about today, though.
That's true. Actually, that was not in the that is not on the list of things we're talking about.
But you guys know how this goes. I mean, like you're on these shows, you're promoting something, and there's always that that kind of like BS, like, oh, you should just come back and we'll just we'll hang out and we'll drink beers and play Atari or something.
Right.
And you're like, yeah, that sounds great. And then like the cameras stop rolling and they're like, you're not allowed to look at me. We're not like that at this show. When we say come hang out for beers and Atari, we mean come hang out for beers and Atari. Now, having said that, there are no beers or Atari, but
I was gonna say, are you and Alex playing Atari somewhere right now?
I wish, but as far as a metaphor is concerned, I believe this is effective. So anyway, Alex, thanks for coming and hanging out. It's great to chat with you again.
Thanks. I'm just here to chat, not to chat and chew bubblegum, I guess, but not here to pitch anything.
Yep. Just
or sell product.
We should mention to all the listeners that the phone lines are open, so if you have any questions for Alex at all, just feel free to
dial in. All right, let's kick things off today with some new stuff on Alien Isolation. And as most of you are probably already doing, I'll give you a second to get your pants off, because it's going to be that kind of a what we're watching section. We're going to kick it off with two dev diaries for Alien Isolation, first of which is called Lo-Fi Sci-Fi, and the second is The Sound of Alien Isolation. Briefly, the Lo-Fi Sci-Fi dev diary just deals with the design aesthetic of the game and the desire to make the game very, very true to the spirit of the original Alien film in terms of design, in terms of this analog world. It's a CRT world as opposed to an LCD world. One of the developers so succinctly puts it. And then the Sound of Alien Isolation is all about the music and just how they've gone to great lengths to really try to capture the spirit of the music. Jerry Goldsmith's brilliant score to the original film. As a matter of fact, they talk about some of the musicians who are playing in the orchestra actually played on the original Jerry Goldsmith score for Alien. So really interesting full circle kind of stuff there. For my own part, before I turn it over to you guys to seek your input, I have gone from I'm cautiously optimistic about Alien Isolation in light of the horrendous train wreck that was Alien Colonial Marines.
It's a bit soon.
I've gone from that to take my money, shut your mouth, take my money, and let me play this game. I am so excited for this. I can't even pretend to be objective about this anymore. I want to play this game so badly, I can't tell you.
Yeah, I put two of these trailers on the docs, Brenner. The Lo-Fi Sci-Fi trailer is the one that actually came out this last week. And after watching the Lo-Fi Sci-Fi trailer on YouTube, I saw the link. I went to their main YouTube channel and saw the link to The Sound of Alien Isolation, which I had missed apparently. And I put it on here because I feel like, Brent, there's always sort of two aspects to these trailers as we talk about them. One being the game itself, which you just addressed with the mess in your pants, and the other being the quality of the piece of media itself. And I really do feel like these particular Alien Isolation dev diaries are along the lines of what we saw in Red Dead, and we refer back to those a lot.
Because they were good.
They were
really
fantastic.
good.
They were very, very good. In my mind, sort of the bar by which gaming media at that level can be measured. And what you just said actually illustrates my point perfectly, because what you just said was you've gone from cautiously optimistic over the horrendous experience that you actually had. You actually got suckered into buying.
I'm one of those poor suckers that paid money for that game.
That's right.
I didn't listen, and I paid the price. Literally paid the price.
These dev diaries have taken you from that pain to the point where you are ready to pre-order this game, and that is specifically why I put both of them on the dock this week, because they are that good as pieces of media, in my opinion. And furthermore, I agree with you, Brent. Like, I'm still reticent to I haven't pre-ordered the game. I don't even know if it's available for pre-order yet, but I'm not sure that I would pre-order the game at this point. But I mean, they look like they're doing everything right. I'm so excited for the game. I just also think these are great pieces of media.
They are.
Alex, what about you? Are you interested in Alien Isolation? Had you seen any of these trailers before you watched them for the show?
Yeah, I heard a bit about it, and immediately did, I think, what you guys probably did, which was like, oh, an Aliens game? I'll see how the reviews go.
Right, yeah.
8 months from now. But, I mean, that's what those dev diaries are made to do, is to, build hype, which they did pretty well, I thought. But Aliens is a weird franchise for me at this point in time, because I was born right with both feet on other side of Aliens, in terms of, like, it came out right before I was old enough to really appreciate it, but also late enough that I could watch it and still have nostalgia for it now.
Right.
And from that perspective, it's a really interesting franchise to me, because I wonder how many people, like how many of the modern gaming market, even have that nostalgia for Aliens, besides people like ourselves who are 30 years old and above.
Yeah, well, there's certainly, I mean, there's a generational aspect to it, but there's also something I don't know why necessarily, because, like, when you talk about sort of like the great Gen X franchise, I mean, like, certainly Star Wars, Star Trek, those things that have gone on to become huge pop culture phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
Aliens doesn't necessarily get mentioned in that, but for reasons that I can't explain, me and almost everyone I knew went through a period of time somewhere in high school where, like, we watched Aliens in full every day for a year or more.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm not being figurative. I am literally saying, like, during probably somewhere like in my freshman, sophomore year of high school, I watched Aliens, the complete film, every day of my life for a year plus.
That was right after your complete screening of Pink Floyd The Wall, and right before you ended up face down in a tub of ice cream or something, right?
That's probably true. So anyway, but the point is that Aliens does resonate with our generation. I think most of us anyway. But I agree with you in that the series, because, like, the best part of the series was the first two films, and if you don't have any kind of nostalgia for those, if you're not a huge Bill Paxton fan,
right.
Whatever the case may be, whatever you're into the movies is, Tom Skerritt maybe is more your flavor. But my point is that if you are one of those people who's like, Aliens, didn't they make one of those movies with Ron Perlman and Winona Ryder one time?
Yeah.
And you have that reaction there, like, you just kind of roll your eyes and, like, yeah, those of us in the know try to forget about those years.
Well,
thanks for playing.
The tagline that you mentioned, if you don't know what CRT means, you might not really be into.
You might be too young to appreciate
the Aliens franchise.
That's a fascinating question. I would love to put that to the audience, and I know that many of the people in the audience are in our vicinity as far as age is concerned. But I would love to hear from some of the younger people what their perspective is, because I have to admit that nostalgia goes a long, long way to selling the Alien game for me. And it's interesting how nostalgia is working both in terms of awareness for Alien, from a cultural perspective, but also the kind of interesting nostalgia for or nostalgic future tech. Maybe is like the phrase that they use, but this whole idea of a retro science fiction future. That's a fascinating kind of thing, and that hits on nostalgia notes for me in a big way. But if you don't have that kind of context for it, then I wonder how you respond to it. I would be interested to hear any younger members of the Axehead Army sound off on that with their...
Well, I do also think something to consider here is it's not while the nostalgia factor is clearly a selling point of this game, and specifically, I mean, I was looking at the ESA's numbers recently, and the average age of a gamer is currently 30, which is actually down from 37 just a few years ago. And
yes,
and so certainly hitting that nostalgia factor for that 30 to 40 age range or whatever is a bit of a sweet spot, I think, and definitely I was going to say First Blood. Blood Dragon shows us that referring back to the 80s is not a bad thing. But the other thing you have to remember is that a game like Alien Isolation, if it ends up being what it is being billed as, this sounds a little odd, but also refers back to Dead Space in the sense that
very true.
This is a what I believe to be a very powerful and very untapped gaming niche that Dead Space touched into, and that sort of Event Horizon, Aliens, abandoned, solitary feeling, which Dead Space did. The original Dead Space did brilliantly,
Yeah.
And the guys over at EA, I think, in my personal opinion, went sort of in the wrong direction with 2 and 3 and left that isolation feeling and moved into a more action-y feeling. And there's very few games that do this. And so even if you're looking at younger gamers that are 15, 16, 18, 22, that have no frame of reference for Aliens, I think they're still going to
plugging into.
Well, I think they're going to understand this context of this isolated space type, action horror game or whatever. And I think
just
they'll
get
hit the
into
audience
it
there.
For that. Well, that's a good point. Yeah, I remember somebody asked me about. They were asking me like why I love the original Dead Space so much, and I was like, it's as if H.P. Lovecraft wrote the original Alien film. And if you don't think that's the coolest thing imaginable, then I can't explain it to you, any better than that.
But here's a kind of interesting angle on the same topic from maybe more of I'm not an insider because I wasn't working on that, but more of an industry perspective.
Yeah.
The original Dead Space didn't do that well.
Oh, no, it's always about can we sell more copies?
Yeah, and what they found was the second one a little more actiony and sold a lot more, and then the third one, made even more. So from their perspective, they're like, why should we do a straight up horror suspense game if that's not, the audience that we want?
No, that's interesting. Did you say the third one did better, Alex?
I believe in terms of money, it did better.
So that's an interesting, and obviously, Dead Space was from EA, wasn't it? I believe. And
who published it?
It wasn't
Visceral.
That sounds right.
To Wikipedia I go.
So that's interesting to me, though, because I wonder. Obviously, I don't have the resources at my fingertips that clearly they would have at theirs. But the correlation, I'm wondering if that correlation, as you depicted it, is would be an accurate one. So did the second one sell better because it was more actiony, or did it sell well because the first one, although it maybe didn't reach the numbers that they wanted, created something of a cult fan base and maybe got out there in ways that didn't reflect in retail?
There's
an audience that wanted to buy Dead Space 2.
Right, and sequels tend to do, in games anyway, they tend to do better than their first version.
Their predecessors, yeah.
But I think in terms of EA making a decision, they're trying to maximize it. So they're going, even if a Dead Space that was very much still rooted in Aliens had a sequel, it would sell that much more as a shooter,
Right, yeah.
And
that's interesting.
Apparently the logic proved out.
Yeah, well,
it's funny. I mean,
okay.
People really do vote with their wallets, even though it feels like if I don't buy that, it's not much of a protest. That really is the factor that they're looking at over everything else.
It'll be interesting to see. If the brand recognition and potential nostalgia of Alien Isolation allows it to, maybe succeed on that financial front, where a new IP, a la Dead Space, maybe didn't fare so well.
It will be interesting, and I'm really glad that they're sticking to what looks like a very Aliens 1 kind of mood.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yes.
2 has a lot of cool scenes, but what made it such a successful movie was the suspense and the terror.
Yeah, the tension of that film is almost unimaginable. I mean, it's an incredibly tense movie.
Which is exactly what I want from the game. I want the game to do dreamy.
I can't. Is it at the end of the lo-fi sci-fi trailer? But there's a moment at the end of one of these two videos. I can't remember which. They're talking about. Just
come on, score.
It may be the sound one because we're talking about hearing things around you and how important it is to listen while you're hiding.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Bam, motherfucker.
And all of a sudden, you're seeing gameplay and you hear this loud clang, and the player quickly jumps back and kind of
23 fucking seconds left.
behind the entrance to a doorway,
God damn.
and you hear this panic, rapid breathing, and then turns around and the alien's behind them and he's like running towards them. And like I was sitting there with my wife beside me, my daughter beside me, watching this in a very bright room, not at all the ideal circumstances for creating feelings of terror. I was sitting there like watching that in that context, and I was just going, oh god, oh that's terrifying, oh god, please. And then I was like, please let me play your game, please, and play a game, please.
One thing, and it
was good.
I was going to say that it's a very small thing, but one thing I noticed with that video was that a lot of games have dark areas, and if you turn your brightness up a bit, it's a 3D environment, so it's actually there, and it's just dark, right? Yes. But in the video, the lo-fi video, you couldn't see anything but what they wanted you to see. And to me, that made a big difference. Like, you couldn't see the parts of the alien body that were further beyond the mouth,
Yep.
And it's a small thing, but a big difference between feeling, like something's really scary or that it's just, dark in the room.
That's really interesting. I wonder if there's people out there that are like, you know what, this game's... and actually, to be frank, I did this in DayZ. It's the only game I've ever done it in.
Gamma trick.
I did the gamma trick, yeah, but I wonder if there's people out there that are like, this is too scary, I'm turning up the gamma, so there's no real, truly dark places, like when they're playing Doom 3. I wonder if there's people that do that.
I don't know. I didn't do that in Dead Space. I talked about it.
No, I certainly didn't. It would never even occur to me to do that.
I could only play Dead Space in 30 to 45 minute increments because I was so tense. I mean, literally, the muscles of my neck would be so tense after playing that game for a half hour or so that I would physically need to stop playing just to relax and unwind because it was such a tension-filled experience. I longed for that. I longed.
I do too, man.
I
absolutely do too.
Play that game that I'm afraid to play for more than 45 minutes.
Right.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. That was Doom 3 for me. I mean, that was I actually would rip my headphones off and get up from the computer because it scared me so badly. But
yeah.
All right, let's move on to our second trailer or I guess technically third trailer, but our second trailer in the What We're Watching section this week, Brent, which is the Watch Dogs Telling a Story trailer. Now, I know we've been talking about Watch Dogs for the past few weeks. Obviously, the game comes out May 27th, so it's not far off. It's one of the next big releases coming out in the coming months. Obviously, it's a game that people have been watching for years at this point, right? And that Ubisoft sort of took off the schedule and went back and did some work on. You and I, Brent, both pre-ordered the game this last week.
We did indeed.
Which I'm excited about. I'm excited about playing the game, but I put this particular trailer on here for a couple reasons. One is, Brent, I'm curious to get your reaction to this trailer. The other is, I wanted to kind of compare and contrast it a little bit with the Alien Isolation dev diaries, because this is a dev diary of sorts as well. But I thought it wasn't as good of an example of one. And frankly, as much compelling media as I've seen in Watch Dogs lately, this particular dev diary was sort of almost antithetical to that, and which is even more interesting given how much I care about story. But
yeah,
I didn't like this trailer, Brent. I mean, I thought that this was... I didn't think, we were halfway into this trailer before they started talking about the story, in my opinion. There was a lot of talk about game mechanics, which I understand are sort of intertwined and innervated into the story.
Sure.
But it didn't really truly feel like a story dev diary from beginning to end, which is kind of what I felt it should have been if the title of it's going to be telling a story.
Well, or there's the other problem too, in that the story that they're describing that takes place in the game sucks. It's the most trite, cliche thing. I mean, it's the Frank Castle revenge story, which was, in itself, a retelling of some other, famous trope revenge story. I mean, family member killed, bad guy killed.
Well, you can see one of the things that's interesting, Brent, is you can see the way this dev diary plays out very much supports what you're saying, in that they talk about how the story was essentially born out of the mechanic.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's sort of how this came about. And we talked to when we talked to James Burton of White Paper Games about Ether 1 and how that developed. We got an interesting take, I think, of how that game developed as well. And not unlike that, he said that that the story for Watch Dogs essentially developed out of this idea of what they wanted to create around a mechanic about using a city as